We might be live. I think we're live. Super potentially live. Oh, hold on one moment. Okay, perfect. So this is Painting Platinum, number 53 or 54. I think it's 54. I would like somebody to go back and verify that, Justin, that we are really on number 54. Let's see. You say 53, I say 54. But anyway, regardless, it is Painting Platinum, High Rings Raccoon, Spoons. So Justin brought up yesterday the word irregardless. You know that both are accepted now? That's in the dictionary, irregardless? Yeah. The way that I know you hate language evolving in that way, but I know you do. It's one of your bugaboos. I paints, I may be one. Um oh good. Okay, so the metallic is freaking shiny. That's great. Oh no, they can't hear you. Okay, hold on a second. He won't be in that much anyway, but we do want. It is a problem though, a little. What do I have to enable? Desktop audio, mic. It says it's enabled. I'll turn it up. Test, test, test. Howdy, Albevazen. Thank you very much. Okay, so HM Road Dog, what this is, because I couldn't decide what color to do anything. Okay, now here's the other thing. I have a new lamp. But first of all, it's black. Then it was, I don't remember what color metallic I did. Black, and then I think rose gold. And then I did this metallic medium, which is just like a clear silver metallic. And then I did dragon bronze, I believe, which is actually like one of my favorite metallics. I used it. Hi, John David Speaks. Glad you could join us. Um, let's see. What was I saying? Oh, I painted some pots for my plants, and they're pink with a dragon bronze top, and like one has a crack in it, and I did like a little dragon bronze crack in it. It's very nice. Anyway, I like dragon bronze. Yay, Anne. Hi, Margaret. Thank you for the sub. So when we get 5 subs, we will, what's it called? We'll give away our metallic medium. Or, I know not everybody wants a metallic medium because not everybody's into the really shiny metallic. If you would like, you can have a preview of the hot blue. Just tell them. Can I do that, Justin? Can no, but can Courtney do that? Hi, Scott Beal. Can they choose something in their order, in their giveaway order? Yes. I'll just throw them in there. I'll just throw them both in there. So you'll get a hot blue, which is a RVE metallic fast palette color, and you'll get a metallic medium. Hi, Rella Witch. Hot blue is a really pretty. It's kind of where I got the idea of a metallic clear because it is just like straight up blue with mostly silver metallic. It's one of my like. I'm obsessed with silver metallic with a little bit of gold in it, which I don't think you'll ever be able to tell. Honestly, when it comes to metallic, it might be like undetectable. But so that's hot blue. I think I've removed everything from reach, but by the end of this, we will show that. I need, for every 5, we're going to give away 1. Oh, so, what it is, What it is, okay, so Winter Shadow was an Anne prototype. So I would say, as far as its likelihood of getting in, it's pretty likely. Because she had a pretty good, has a pretty good head on her shoulders, pretty good kind of finger on the pulse of what was going to work. So I would push for that. Also, I can't remember if it's a Winter Shadow, but there was Winter Shadow. What was there? There was Winter Shadow, Rogue Shadow, and Sky Shadow, and I think they might have been liners. Uh, oh, good. So yeah, every 5 subs we're gonna give one away. Oh, I do have a, hold on. I do have a tile. Oh, what a wild week it's been. What a wild, just something in the air, astrologically or something. It has been just a nightmare. Just a nightmare. And I was being really dramatic and like angrily mixing after everybody left. And we have these claws. I don't know, you've probably seen them, but you can open, I'll put her there so it's not boring. You can open like a 5-gallon paint bucket with this claw, and I pulled on it really hard and I hit myself in the head right here. I don't have a bump. I mean, I have a little bit of a bump I felt this morning, but it's not really visible, which is good because I usually don't make any I don't wear any makeup during the week. Thanks, Samurai Jack. I-Fi Paints. Sadie, did you know Anne has gone over the Reaper Con colors in her Patreon? She has some new favorite colors. Good. Oh, the Brinewood colors. Yeah, I did see that. I was really touched by that. I saw it on stream at least. I didn't see it on the Patreon. I should get on her Patreon. The only reason I don't want to, other than forgetting to, is because she's done a lot of stuff that I would like to do, and I think it would be really cool to see how we do it, and I don't want to be like influenced by it until I've already done it. But I'm every time I hear about it, I'm like, that's really cool. I need that. Yeah, that's where my horns grow out of. It's like that anime. Is it Fully Cooley? Is that what it was called? Fully Cooley? I don't know. But porn, random, whatever. Anyway. I think I already said this, and I don't think we established if anybody could hear Justin, but Justin's going to be in and out. He's teaching Collins kind of how to run things because he's going to take a vacation one of these days. This is my hot blue. Okay, so I have a new lamp, and I don't know how I like it for this. It's a mag lamp, so it's almost like a ring light. So I can turn it down a little bit. I think that's better. Shoot, and you know what else? I'm on my monitor that's weird. So I'm totally counting on you guys. I really don't know if that's correct color-wise. I think it's pretty close though. So, and then the clear silver metallic is just a metallic medium with no pigment in it. The idea being you can add it to any metallic, or you could add a clear or another color to it. The only problem being that they have a flattener in it. So thanks for the subs. John David Speaks. I probably missed some more. But the only challenge to that would be is there's flattener in it, and you don't want a metallic to be mattified at all. So it's leading me to kind of want to push to have some mediums and also some glossy clears. That way, I feel like if you had glossy clears, you had a gloss sealer, you had a metallic medium, maybe if you had like a glossy, we have a glossy white, and we have a kind of glossy white, and we have glossy red. Anyway, if you had a number of stuff, you could make kind of wherever you want to on the range of matte. And I will say, yeah, mattified. Thanks, Albevison. I will say this. Teaching me how matte was matte enough was challenging. So I think I mattify a little bit more than Anne did, only because I wasn't good at it. So I just make like damn good and sure that that I do that. Mad Zapper wants to know, how do I claim a sub? Like what are they called now? Twitch. They used to be Twitch Prime subs. Twitch Prime Gaming. Okay, cool. Okay, good. All right, there you go. It should automatically give it to you. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, so these are those. When they dry, it'll show a little better. I'll like squish this one out too. But yeah, so this week's been an ass whipping. I always love having this on my pants. Thanks, Nomad Zeke. We have a supply issue that is slowing us down. We're like running against the clock trying to get everything out. So essentially we've been able to get orders out, and we have enough allocated to get orders out. But as far as making stuff ahead, it's going to be an issue. So that's been stressful. Then, we're doing 4 giveaways, guys. We're killing it. Thanks, guys. Stoked on it. So we had that happen. We cleaned out the department. So I purged a lot of like not very good old colors and buckets, like cleaned out the department. I do not believe that will affect RVE. Yeah, so I don't know, but I don't think it'll affect RVE. I can say if it did, whatever we were making would still be available. Now, everything I've shown is already made. So if, let's see, on Reaper Live last week, if you saw the, let's see. Sorry, I'm distracted. On Reaper Live last week, I showed the triad, the bright yellow, red, and blue. Those are done, and the metallic fast palette is done. Oh, that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, if people knew. But it was so old that I really don't know how useful it was. Oh, Frumpy Glass is here. That's my honey. Where's he at? What'd he say? Oh, good. Okay, he got a sub. Good. Good, guys. Thank you. If I missed any subs, I apologize. Oh, a hype train. The Painting Platinum Purge Party. Oh, okay. Yeah, it should be Amy. What it is I have these. I think I got rid of the swatches. But I have these. I'll start painting. I have the triad. I need something to set this on so she doesn't like roll around everywhere. So I have the triad. It's a almost clear red, kind of on the cool side. It's very bright. I won't say clear. It's a bright red. It's not clear. It's higher coverage. Same with the yellow. Now the yellow is like on the green side of things, but it's not as green as neon yellow, and it's brighter than canary yellow and the lemon yellow, but it's kind of in that range. And then the blue is a really nice bright blue. I didn't compare it a whole lot to other blues we have, but it's just a really nice bright blue. Because we wanted some like kind of neons, and those are our plasma red, yellow, and blue. I lovingly refer to it as the McTriad based on the red and yellow, which I probably shouldn't tell people, but I'm gonna, because this is Painting Platinum, and why are you watching this if not to find out all the stuff I'm not supposed to talk about? I need a good skin tone. I have been so bad about keeping the Wonder Bread Triad. I5 Paints, I love that. Love that. So let's see. I've been changing the skin tone every week because I haven't tracked on this at all. We'll just call this a totally fun mini. We'll pretend it's a challenge. I use paint from the back bar, so I go back and forth from the bar with it. And thanks, Spoons. Yeah, people like to say I can't get fired. It's one of my, I'm like, I could get fired. Tell you what. Red, yellow, white is the McTriad. I can't think of a white that I could justify doing because Ed doesn't like that we have so many whites and blacks. But if I were going to do a white, I have a special white that I use in the mixing area. You'll have to forgive me. I'm finally ready to paint and I don't have a pokey tool. I use a I call it white, but I use a white with blue and violet in it. The closest thing we would have to it is, what is it? 9461. I don't remember the name, but I think it's 9461. So it's kind of a vampiric sort of white, off-white, but it has, it's a little more grayed out than this. This is like as white as I can make it and as high coverage and as cool without it going dingy. Which is what I like to do with my hair, too. Vampiric mist, exactly. No, I'm not mad. That is, you're not the only person that says that. And in fact, I was talking about how I'm not as, even though Anne had... Sorry, I'm talking fast. I'm, well caffeinated. Anne had a lot of experience over me, obviously, but she had other things to do. But she was still a whole lot faster than me because all the little tips and tricks to every color she had already figured out. So let me see if I can get better lighting on this because I'm not just in love with how bright it is. But the thing is, the lamp is a mag lamp. I'll show you guys. I don't know if I can show you guys or if it'll look good or if it'll be awful. It's a mag lamp. I can show you a little doot of it, but I love it. Anyway, I don't know how practical it is to have it down where I can use it as a mag lamp, but it makes it so that I can keep my glasses on, see the chat, because I don't have my glasses off and I don't have to wear my readers. Because if I put my readers on, then I can't see the chat, that sort of thing. So anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to leave it. It's just not the best. I'm going to figure something out. I ran late today, so we didn't have a whole lot of time to mess with it. But anyway, I was talking about how Anne knew all the tips and tricks that I've had to figure out. And it was Collins who, nobody ever calls him this anymore. But truly, if someone is the ethical and spiritual advisor for me, it's Michael Collins. He was telling me that you've got to share that stuff. You can't be one of these people that are so worried about job security that you don't share any of your stuff. I was already ahead of him. So I teach Ed whatever I change, and I've got a guy working, call him my apprentice. And so I kind of update them on everything I've learned and changed. Not too much, but a few things. So that they can be on board whatever happens, because if this last year has taught us anything, it is that you should be prepared for anything. So, thank you. Yeah, minions. So, we call minions anybody that pumps. So, but an apprentice, that's when you're working with the alchemy. So, Vampiric Mist and Maggot White, I5 paints. Did anybody tell you about the Maggot White? Have you noticed? It's inactive. Maggot White's my favorite color, though. I love Maggot White. I just have a problem because... Okay, good, I5 paints. I have a problem because I don't know what really works in painting as well. Though I'm getting there. I'm getting there pretty fast. As much as... Oh my god, that's such a pretty color. I love that. So, let's see. I was going to go in and do a shadow with this 9443. I don't remember what we changed that color's name to, but it's a name. It's a color. Sorry, I'm confused because I told him to mix until 3 and he's still doing something over there and I don't know what it is. It's not important, I'm just distracted. So anyway, I was going to do a shadow with 9443, but I don't think I need to shadow. I need to clean up around this metallic. Oh yeah, John David speaks. So the deal is we still have the formula for everything and we can still adjust things. So what you'll see a lot of in these RVE colors, other than the metallics, are kind of reworkings of old colors. You know, Ron will know kind of when people really like something and will be able to kind of tell us what we need, that sort of thing. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. It's going to be out of focus a little bit. Yeah, it might be that. And that's the thing. Anne did warn me because I wanted to make a really nice platinum blonde color because our blondes are great. And we do have platinum blonde colors, though I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But our blondes are more warm. I think most people, that's not going to work, I'm sorry. I think most people prefer warm colors. I could be wrong, but I really do think that's true. But anyway, so we have some really nice warm blondes. And then we have our off-whites. Now, the thing about the off-whites is depending on how you mix them with other colors, I think they can go a little ashy. So I have not mastered the really pretty platinum blonde, but when I do, I want to make it a color. Now, Anne told me to be very careful because you could make it and people could be really excited and say, oh, I really need a platinum blonde, or they could say, I really don't need a platinum blonde. So what do I need that for? Whereas if you named it something else, they would feel like they need it. All that being said, hair and skin colors sell really, really well. I think because people probably do get a mini and they're like, oh, I want this mini to have auburn hair. It's all by the Auburn Triad, or that sort of thing. Yes, John David speaks. I too love the goth woman with platinum hair. That is a great aesthetic. If I were to cultivate a fashion that wasn't, I don't know, has paint on it and does not have paint on it, it wasn't so utilitarian, I think it would be some range of goth. My first year of college, I met a girl who went to my middle school after me. And this was so embarrassing, like so cringy. But she said, oh my God, I know you. You went to the school. She said, you were like goth royalty. And I was like, I'm just regular weird. I wasn't goth. But, I mean, apparently I was. I guess, royalty's royalty. I should take what I can get. And nothing wrong with being goth. I just, you don't want to be typecast. You don't want to be pinned down to one aesthetic. Most closely aligned with punk, like the punk aesthetic. Hair color paint line, I love that. Yeah, regular weird. Dave Dwyer. Oh, thanks, Spoons. I was a hairdresser, and I'm a instructor. Howdy, Dave Dwyer. Oh, people do buy every color like you do. We do have, and this is our big conversation about active versus inactive paints, the conversation about the completionist is always a big subject. Oh, guys, you know what we have to decide is that Sophie is a succubus. I often see Sophie with wings that are in the dark elf kind of range. Oh, thanks, Francis. If anybody messaged me, I just started thinking, if anybody messaged me, I have not gotten back to anybody because this week was such a nightmare. It was such a nightmare. So, hold on. That's Cindy. We got paint bottles, guys. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I think we're back in business. I love that. Oh, we're saved. We're saved. I was about to start talking about the ass whipping. Goth and undead colors. Yeah. Okay, so let me see. Hopefully. Oh my God. Yay. What a day. What a celebration. I wonder if we have any champagne somewhere. So, I love a lame history joke. Okay, so somebody said something. Oh, what's the worst selling? I don't have a specific, but pinks. People do not like pinks for whatever reason. So, sorry, I'm sitting on my foot and it's falling asleep. So, recently, we're going through and there's sort of an algorithm when we make a color inactive. Like, we're going to go with something that doesn't sell that well, but at the same time, certain things will get certain priority over others, depending on things. So Ron, like, you can advocate for a color, I guess you could say. I have not done it yet. I would for certain colors. Like, I try not to be biased because maggot white's my favorite color, and I try not to fight Ed too much on stuff because, I don't know. He's got a vision and it's his company. So, but anyway, I think Ron wanted to keep a color and get rid of another color. So he brought out all these pinks, and Ed was like, just get rid of them all. And I was like, Ed, you can't get rid of all the pinks. Not that he's mean. He's not a paint hater. He's just, not quite eccentric. I wouldn't say eccentric, but on that line. Okay, so breast cancer pink. What do people say? It's a good monster mouths, brain highlights, bloody tendons as racks. I've also heard that that it's a good base color for orange. Pinks are not super common in nature, so a lot of natural minis will skip. And also you can make your own pink. I don't know what it is. So we've had some really pretty pinks that have gone out. Like there's a rose triad that went out a long time ago. I think a porcelain rose, an antique rose, and something else that were soft. There's a cloud pink that was almost like when you see a pink aesthetic Pinterest or I guess Tumblr kind of scheme. It was kind of an orangey pink. I liked that. Coral went away. Terracotta. I think that's Ed telling me we have bottles. Yeah, you can come in. We're streaming, but you can come in. I heard we got bottles.
That's what.
Did you tell our people?
No.
They can start, pumping. Thank you. Oh, man. So, rose gold. No, rose gold's a killer color. People really like that. So, I don't see anything happening to rose gold. It just hit just right. Runic glow, I might call runic glow somewhere between red, violet, and magenta. I would say that's runic glow. Yeah, it's been to the point where I'm like, please, for the love of God, don't pump anything unless I ask you to. Like, please, please don't, because we're it's that tight. It was bad. Now that we have them, I can say we were down to 2,000 bottles, and we go through about 20,000 a week, at least. So, we're saved. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, I remembered I was doing the base when we left off. I'm just not going to get that much done this week, and that's okay. I don't know how I feel about this lamp. Everything's everywhere. Yeah, so the tips vary a lot. Sometimes they're kind of fused together and you have to poke like through the first time when you open it the first time. Sometimes you don't. So it's kind of a crapshoot. i5 paints, you are one color short of a glow. So we have Phantom Glow, Spectral Glow, Ghost Fire's a glow, Runic Glow. What else do we have? I can't think of any other glows. Runic Glow, Golden Glow, and Sea Glow. Oh yeah, but Sea Glow is kind of one of those seasonal. Not even seasonal. It's I don't know what we're gonna end up calling them. It's like a prototype, I guess we'll call it for now. And Golden Glow is only available around the holidays, but that is an Anne. Like if I believe Anne said if she had an artist's color in the way that some artists have special colors, that hers would be Golden Glow. She likes yellow and I like yellow, which is, I don't know if I'd call it rare, but it's not common. It's not the most common that people would like yellow. So whenever I'm making my big mix list of everything we need to make, whenever I do the Forester's favorites for Kickstarter, I highlight it in pastel yellow because Anne likes yellow. And I like to color code my mix lists so I know what's up. Are you going to sell one mega box with all the new paints for RVE? Well, we'll have a mega box. So I'm assuming that yes, you will be able to get them all, but you'll have to get all 3 like total boxes. There's not going to be I spilled so much of that. There's not going to be a paint only mega box that I know. Yeah, for ultra rare edition, limited release. Ed and Ron came up with a name, but I won't say yet what the like, what's it called would be. Oh my God. Valender the Red said, I managed to swatch all my paints this week. From Saturday through last night, I got 179 paints swatched. With a black dot in the center of the swatches, you can see opacity. Oh my God. What happened? Was there like a beam of light shining down on you from the ceiling when you finished? Oh my God. You know, there might be, Margaret, if I get on it with painting. I'm going to have to paint a whole lot more to be able to tell people, to be able to recommend anything. Wow. Really cramped hand. Yeah. I have had a wrist problem for weeks now, and I don't know if it's ever going to go away. I think I'm doing it in my sleep. Okay, so I'm doing Harvest Brown on these rocks, but they're not going to stay Harvest Brown. I think I'm going to do gray over them. I just want a nice selection of grays. And if I really focus, I'll be able to go around this glove that she's dropped. So Sorry. Sorry, I'm always switching up my setup, but we'll blame it on the pandemic. Yeah, it's a pandemic thing. Ugh, that's not perfect. Oh, I got another message. So anyway, I'll try and get really neat around this glove that she's dropped. If there's one thing I need to work on, well, there's a lot of things I need to work on, but one major thing is neatness and like not getting everything all over the place. Oh, you have 9 doubled paints. Hi, Holly Monster. I want to do that soon, but I just can't justify taking the time to do it. But I want to do it. I'll tell you what I'd really like to do and what you'll probably see by real ReaperCon. Not that RVE's fake ReaperCon. Not that a virtual ReaperCon's fake ReaperCon. But now I feel guilty. Well, next time we have a ReaperCon, what you'll probably see is an advent calendar inspired tile. Collins found me a big tile where I swatched the whole set of things and we reveal one each day or week or whatever. Yeah, it's virtual. I'm really interested in seeing whether or not this is going to be an in-person ReaperCon. My gut instinct is that no, it's not. But Ron is super upset if we're not going to have a real ReaperCon. Like, I know a lot of people are, but Ron's like, I don't remember what he said. He said, if we don't have a real ReaperCon, I'm going to be so upset. And I was like, well, he might get a complimentary bottle of my special paint Tough Titty that I haven't made yet. Oh, wait. I got a text right when I said Tough Titty, and I was thinking I shouldn't say that. Ugh, I can't see it. Okay, hold on. Okay. Focus time. Focus. Okay, so I'm just trying to mix up colors in this base so that it's like I'm doing like almost like terracotta color. Then I'm doing an orangey color. Then I'm going to do my warm gray. Yes, I can. I may be one. Oh, I love that, Valander. Do it. What do they say? It's going to take 90% of people being vaccinated to establish herd immunity. I think once you're vaccinated, it takes a little time for it to be effective. If not enough, I mean, I don't think this will happen. It seems like the vaccinations are working against mutations, but the more chances that it has to mutate, the higher likelihood that something might pop up that the vaccination doesn't cover. There's so many things involved in it. So I was just talking to my friend today who's kind of scared to get it because she's allergic to penicillin and shellfish, and she's scared of going into anaphylactic shock. And if I sit and think about it, I'll get scared too. But the thing is, I don't know. I just feel like you just can't you just can't think too hard about stuff once you decide it's the right thing for you. Like, I don't think you should blindly let people tell you what the right thing to do for you is. But once you've decided that, sometimes you just got to do it, even if it makes you anxious, in my opinion. So, for example, I got the HPV vaccine because in the medical community, it seems like, I don't know, I'm just like I don't know what the word is. I'm like a doctor. I wouldn't say a doctor groupie, but I'm almost like a pretend doctor. But I'm really fascinated with the medical community. So with the HPV vaccine, because it can almost wipe out cervical cancer, they consider it a missed opportunity if they haven't told somebody about it. So they'll really tell people about the HPV vaccine. That being said, a lot of people didn't agree with it because of the implications, I guess. I don't know. We won't get into that. But so people wrote horrible, scary things about it on the internet. And when I was getting the vaccine, they were like, do you want it? You should get it. And I was like, okay, I'll get it. And they were out of the room and I Googled it and I started getting really anxious and it hurt. And I think it's because, I was so anxious. Sky is clear. What year was that? In the United States, at least, it was approved for people up to 26, but I know somebody who got it after she was 30, after getting treated for, what do they call that? Dysplasia. Yeah, that's what I think is what's going on. I can't get too far into that though, because Justin will get mad at me. I can't get on a soapbox. Yeah, I'm a medicophile. Yeah, 2 vaccine shots that you need. I've heard that in March, at least in the United States, they're approving the single dose, the Johnson & Johnson one. Hashtag not a sponsor. But I mean, whatever. So anyway, I'm on the list. I'm like I don't remember if I'm 39,300 something or 49,000, but I'm on the list. I feel like it'll never come, but it'll be faster. Like, I think we're further out. We're closer to the end than to the beginning, maybe. At least on this season of COVID. I mean, I think it'll be an issue going forward, but maybe not as much of an issue. No, Antique. Okay, 15 years ago, I was in my late 20s then. I think they've opened it up. I know that they've approved it, but I don't know if insurance covers it. No, Trash-O-Rama. It's more like he keeps me from getting in trouble. As far as like, not that we're not, like, we're pretty neutral. It's not that, but I just don't like to, I would hate for anybody to ever be offended by anything I say. I really would. Like, that's the one thing I'm anxious about with streaming is if I ever say anything that offends anybody, because I really don't want that. Ever. And everybody's got their stuff they get offended about. Like, for example, for a long time, people would make jokes with AIDS in the punchline. And I'm not into it, whatever. But somebody said, oh, well, you obviously don't understand. And I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that there probably are people that would laugh at a joke about an illness that have experienced it or experienced loss because of it. Like, you can't say how somebody would react because for me, having a dark sense of humor is how I kind of cope with things. But I did run into it finally with dementia. I do not like the dementia comments. That's my, I guess, thing I get offended by. So I have to consider, like, everybody's got their things. Everybody's going to be offended by something. So yeah. Sadie, if you could have one animal to follow you around all day at Reaper and be your pet, what would it be? That is such a hard question. Oh my God. I just saw a video about minks. Oh my God, they're so effing cute. I would have a mink that doesn't bite and isn't stinky. But after that, either a cat or I would get another little silky terrier. I'm I'm gonna get to it, I swear. I swear to God. um I'm not getting another pet until I have enough money in savings, not only for like the quick savings, the bills savings, but also like a vet fund, because toward the end with my dog, I was like, "Oh my God, I just wish I had enough money saved that anything could happen and I could cover it." Not that I don't have the resources in people I know, but like I wish I personally could. Um yeah, Ryan's, and like just because we think it's funny, even if you still thought it was funny, doesn't mean that everybody would. Um but yeah, so that's my like kind of, you live, you learn, you grow up, things change. Try and be tolerant, try and be understanding even when stuff seems ridiculous. And stuff will start to seem ridiculous as you get older, I've noticed. Pet insurance is worthwhile investment. I've heard that, Samurai Jack. I've also heard, okay, so Anne told me either do pet insurance or save money when a pet is a puppy, like you're paying pet insurance. Yeah, I really think any animal. Um, I like capuchin monkeys. I've heard they're bastards. I'm probably missing something. My cousin got a lamb recently. She is just cute as shit. And she really does like follow the kids around and everything. But anyway, okay, let's get back to the white paint question because I will forget. Okay, dragon white. Okay, pure white is 9039. 9039 is the white with the highest pigment load. It is the whitest white you're going to find. Then we have our dragon white. Dragon white is the second highest, we'll say. It's white, it's high pigment, but it's not much, like it's not the highest. Then we have the solid white, which is the 9478. That is made in a different base. It is the only thing that's made in that base, I believe. It's higher coverage right out of the bottle, and it's just a little glossier. It's got a little bit of a different finish. With those, you probably won't be able to tell a difference if you swatched them, for example. But they are different. They will mix differently. They'll behave differently when you mix them, and they'll behave differently as far as coverage when you use them. Unicorn white. You stumped me. I actually don't know about unicorn white. Is unicorn white? It's not metallic. I wonder if it's a cool white. I'll get back to you on that, actually. I need to add that because I do like to talk about the differences between black and white colors. So I will get back to you on that one day. Boop, boop. That's what I was gonna say. I bet it's a cool white. Unicorn white. It'd be helpful for me to find all of our off-whites because I did a swatch of all of our off-whites for somebody on Discord, and there were a lot and they were all different. So when I made skeleton bone, it's a little bit of a different off-white. Same with treasure map as far as like a bone off-white. Oh, yes, and peppermint white has like a little bit of a pink. Spectral white. I think spectral white's blue. It's got a little blue in it. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that's the ticket. I would really like to swatch all the colors. I'm going to soon. One of these weekends, I'm not going to I'm not going to do anything work related, and I'm not going to do anything home related. I am just going to get up here and swatch. I'll tell you what, people need to check out those Pathfinder paints because they don't get nearly as much love as they should. I don't make them that often. I'll tell you that. Most of these colors, like, let's see, all of the whites I make all the time. 9037 or 9039 because it's so popular, but 9439 and 9039 are both in kits. And if it's in a kit, we just make it back to back forever. Let's see. What did somebody say? What did somebody say? I think I got a compliment and I don't want to be rude. I think somebody complimented my old swatch posts. Oh, No Direction says, I remember really loving your paint palette when I saw it before. I want to buy a little sister. What palette are you using? I'm using a wet palette. I don't know where we got it because I took it from the studio. But it looks like this. You will find on the forum and probably on the Facebook. If you look up wet palette, you'll probably find a good selection of wet palettes. A lot of people have the wet palettes that close. This one doesn't, it's just open. And some people make their own out of Tupperware. Oh, the Well palette. That, I think Anne left that. I got a bunch of wires. I really did not set myself up for success. Okay, this is the Well palette. I don't know who makes it or where to get it, but it's just ceramic. And I also use ceramic tiles. Oh, Francis, you're so sweet. Thank you. I haven't seen anything that makes me feel like I look older yet, except that I'm so expressive in my face that I have lines. But I mean, whatever. I don't know. I go back and forth between thinking that I've always just planned to have enough money to get fillers and stuff as I've gotten older. But part of the time I'm like, I don't think I'd really look bad with wrinkles. And I know my mom doesn't worry about aging in the way a lot of people do. She just says, you never feel old. You're just you. But thank you. But I'll tell you what, I almost got fillers when I was working at the spa and Botox. Because I was like, well, hi Valfera, if you get Botox and fillers when you're younger, well, fillers, you have to keep re-getting them. But if you get Botox when you're younger, it prevents aging as much as it gets rid of it, right? So you start younger, you don't have to do it as much. But I didn't. And you know what? My boyfriend sent me an article that, is it the Moderna vaccine? One of the COVID vaccines causes pain and inflammation when you have fillers. So the vaccine doesn't like the fillers. Now, I don't know if it's new filler. A lot of the fillers dissolve. I think all of it dissolves. Sky is Clear, they can do a really good job. My uncle was really bragging on Gwen Stefani the other day. So, like, is Gwen Stefani, married to that guy? I don't remember his name. I'm going to get it mixed up because I don't know the New Country Guys people like. But, so Gwen Stefani is like either married to or dating this guy that was with Miranda Lambert. And Miranda Lambert's kind of more angsty. And Blake Shelton, yes, I was going to say another one. She's kind of angsty and tough and whatever. And Gwen Stefani is like bubbly and whatever. And my uncle was like, and look how young she looks. And I was like, she's had the best work in Hollywood done. Like, she does look great, and I do love me some Gwen Stefani, but she's had the best of it. But she does seem very sweet and youthful. But I would almost bet my life on it. I mean, either that or she's literally a vampire. She looks great. Yeah, Samurai Jack. I think the deal was that she was married and she's Catholic, so I think she had to get an annulment, or at least wanted to. I don't know if she ended up getting an annulment, because she was married to Gavin Rosdale, and that's a process. But if you want to be able to, I don't know, I'm not Catholic, I'm diet Catholic, but I think it's if you want to be able to take communion and be like in good standing, you have to get an annulment to get remarried, or at least remarried in the church or in the church's eyes or whatever. I don't know. I think that's the deal. Probably depends on I don't know actually. Things seem to kind of have a process in the Catholic Church. But I do love Gwen Stefani. And I remember reading when I was younger, I read that she bleaches her hair every three. No. I think it said she bleaches her hair every 2 weeks. And from a really young age, I was thinking I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna bleach my hair every 2 weeks. And for a while, I probably did it every 3 weeks. One of my instructors in cosmetology school said, like, I get that you don't want roots, but you also don't want it to look like a wig. So I was like, oh, okay, so now I stretch it. Oh, I'm painting off camera. I apologize. This lamp has not been good. It's good for, it's good for what I can see, how I can paint. But I was telling Justin, nothing's better than painting like this. And that's not fun to watch. So, yeah, Francis. Have you seen the pictures of, like, I think it was a picture of a lady trucker. So this side of her face got all the sun and this side didn't. That sun will get you. Like, it's good. One of the TV doctors said 15 minutes of sun every day was good for you. I don't know if that's true. I think it depends, but you're supposed to wear your SPF. I don't wear my SPF like I should. I'm bad. I forget. And I don't even wear makeup. I used to wear makeup. And I also used to work in a spa and tell people your makeup's not enough. You need real SPF. But yeah, depends on the intensity of the UV light. It does. I used to have the most killer, it's expensive, but the most killer SPF was a matte. It was by Image Skincare, which isn't, like crazy expensive, but it's not cheap. But it was a matte sunscreen. It was really nice. I wore that every day. Yeah, I wonder about masks with all of that. Hold on. I think I'm getting a bottle update. Let me think. Okay. I think that's all of it. Dug out my special white. It's light lavender, but it's also, oh, you're right. I was thinking of ghost white. Yeah, we could have a white fast palette too. Maggot white, ghost white, leather white. Um, the other ones. Anyway. So I guess my plan is to make these all different but similar, and then go over them with a glaze until it brings them together, and then go over the, I don't know, like, what do you call it between, it's not grout, is it? Whatever. I'm gonna go between with white. I think I am gonna use a well palette a little bit. I need to learn to use a well palette. I only used it when I ran out of, or when I lost my wet palette, but I think I like it too. I'm just a slow painter, obviously, so my paint dries up. But if I thinned it, maybe it wouldn't. crevices, joints. Pumpkin orange. Sorry, I heard somebody getting sassy and I couldn't tell if they were being pretend sassy, which is usually what's going on, or if they were for real sassy. So we're like gearing up to end the show. Next week, I'm gonna lie to you and tell you that I'll have a plan for this mini to finish it. I would like a more uniform skin color all over because I've used so many different skin colors. I might change that panty color. I will put shadows and highlights on these boots. We'll look at the wings. Maybe we'll base coat the wings today. I really should keep going with this gray though. Ooh, you know what I'll do? I have corporeal shadow right here. Yeah, red tan like skin or red tan like terracotta almost. I would love to see in the way that with makeup they did a naked palette that was really popular that I will say I haven't been a big fan of Urban Decay makeup forever. There's a lot of fallout, in my opinion. Doesn't blend very well. Wasn't the point of me talking about this, though. They did like this naked palette, and it was so popular. And I told Ed, well, we should have like a skin palette. So I would love to see that. I don't think it would be fast palettes. Now we are doing skin fast palettes, but if we wanted to do all the skin, I don't know how big that would have to be. And then we would have to think about, I don't remember if I asked this on Facebook or just in Discord, but what everybody's favorite, I called it like an off-label skin color is. So what's everybody's favorite color to use as skin, but that's not skin? Because I was trying to pick out every skin color from the whole, like from all the lines, and I couldn't get to all of them because something would come up and I'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I just made a blue gray out of Corporeal Shadow and 9433 Mountain Stone because I want these all to have their own little individual color and energy. And then we'll have to think about this confetti. I guess we'll make it rainbow confetti and assume it's paper. This is more care than I usually give to bases, but I do need to get a little better about that. I need to paint more, guys. Once I get the chaos over in my life. It seems like today has been the resolution of the ass whippery because we got bottles in, and then in my own personal life, it is my theory that everybody in my mom's side of the family has ADHD. Maybe not as a disorder, but as a variation. They're different. And I think that evolutionarily, it's been a really strong asset for us, and in life it's done really well. Most of my family does construction. They're moving around. They work a lot. They're good at what they do. But planning, oh my God, planning is not a big thing. So we are going to sell my grandparents' house, and we don't know when. I live there. So, whatever. So anytime I've tried to bring it up, I'm like, well, there's taxes involved. Let me help. Let me put aside whatever. When should we plan? And they're like, hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Which is very sweet. But I have a feeling it's just going to pop up. So everybody's very, 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 very nice. They're very good people. They hate confrontation. Everything's chill. But this weekend, they with the best of intentions ever. I have an uncle out of town who was like, oh, we're going to come up this weekend and we're going to clear the house out. And I was like, oh, well, the fun thing is that even before my grandma had dementia, she was just loopy. And I lived with her forever. So she would have like these junk drawers all over and fold my things into her things. So like I have like family heirlooms from my other side of the family that would obviously look just like random old people shit that are mine. But less of a concern than that is that my mom can't find my grandma's wedding ring. So I know my mom, and if she can't find that wedding ring and it got thrown away and whatever, but everybody's there while we're cleaning the place out, it's going to be chill. But if a bunch of people come in and my mom's working and she never knows, did somebody take it? Did somebody accidentally throw it away? She's going to be really mad at herself for not securing it. Because she thought she did, but then we randomly did a big project and moved a bunch of stuff and we lost it. So whatever. So that's the big thing. So we were going to do that. And I was like, oh my God, I can't, number one, I don't want to see anybody from out of town. I love them very much, but I'll see them soon enough. Like I did not go this long sacrificing all my social activities and close personal space sharing to get this right at the end because somebody has some time off work. So whatever, we were going to do it. And then it got called off today. And I still might do a lot of work this weekend, but I was like, oh, thank God. I love you so much. I really wouldn't mind if y'all were chilling, like come up, chill, party, but I can't, So anyway, where the ADHD part is number one, they don't plan. And number two, when we did this last time, it would be funny if it weren't so stressful. But what we did last time is we went through the kitchen, and they have a huge kitchen. That house makes me hate big houses. I hate big houses. I hate them. There's so much to clean. There's so much space to store stuff away. So we went through all the cabinets and got all the cool shit out. So I would be back at like the other cabinets and be like, well, wait, like I know we got the cool stuff out, but there's more shit in here. Let's one at a time, whatever, move in a orderly fashion through the house, but we didn't want to do that. So we pulled everything out. And toward the end, I was like, I know y'all are going to want to go home soon. So let's put stuff away, please, so whatever. It was a nightmare. So as a grandchild, I don't want to make too much of a fuss because it's really not my place. But as somebody that lives there and has to clean, I just don't, I can't take it. And yeah, like structure is really important to me. I need structure. I might not like it, but I do need it. And I know how off the rails I'll go if the house turns into this transitional realm. But anyway, so yeah, exactly, Rings Raccoon. So it was okay when my uncle was going to come up alone because him and my other uncle sit out in the garage and drink beer and hang out. And that to me is a little more safe because it's kind of open air. But anyway, it's not going to happen now. I hope nobody is offended. Like I'm nice about it, but I'm like, could we plan it? Because I'd like to be able to take off work. And now that the bottle's resolved, I wouldn't have been able to do that because I have to keep them in work. Stuff to do. And we gotta get it on our RVE. So, which I will be doing as the show is over. I will probably try and make some RVE colors today. Maybe we'll be able to share another color. Probably not 3 more today, but maybe another color. So it has been the week of ass whipping, but the day of resolution, knock on wood. So, a weight has been lifted off of me. Did I just put Maggot White on my palette? I don't know why I did that. I did though. I sure did. Okay, well. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Pendrake, I actually told them, I said, you know what would be the best idea ever is if we made a private Facebook group where the family was there and I could post pictures of everything, how much we have of it, whatever, and people in the family could like dibs. Um, but somebody didn't like that. So they were like, no, we kind of all need to be there. And I'm like, well, if we're all there, I'm the only person that wears masks with the family. I don't know what the deal is. I think if you don't have really good leadership and people showing you that it's normal, it makes you feel uncomfortable. But for me at Reaper, Ed and Dave started wearing masks before anybody else, and they told me to wear a mask. They're like, don't worry if it makes you look or feel weird or whatever. You're just looking out for yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. Um, I think it's harder for men. I think men get more shit for it than women. I don't know why. It's just one of our strange things we've picked up on the journey from like regular animals um, to people animals. Oh my gosh, that's like the lightning round, Spoons. Post a Facebook Marketplace and just be like, if you want it bid higher than the public. Dave is doing great. Um, huh, yeah, exactly. Um, Dave is doing great. I talked to Reaper Harley, and she says that she's like 100% totally better, but that Dave is still kind of fighting off the last little bits of it. Hopefully, he won't be, what do they call it? A long hauler. But he had a better time of it than I think he predicted he would have. So that's really good. I actually did not know Dave had it until a few days after he got it because I would have been really worried right at first. But he's done really well with it, I think. Yeah, for real, Rings Raccoon. I'm right there with you. No, Daka Flocka Flame, I haven't either. People get really offended by people wearing masks in cars. And I always tell them, so I have family that gets triggered by masks. And I'm like, you know what it probably is? I forget I'm wearing my mask. It's so comfortable. And they're like, mm. So I don't know. But I know that's not the case for all masks and for every person. This is not the most this is the base of many colors. It's really ugly, but maybe we'll save it. It's not the most environmentally friendly thing, but I wear paper masks, like surgical masks. Uh, yes, sky's clear. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is I wonder why people wear it. I wonder if people wear it in the car because they don't want to touch it. So they wash their hands, they put their mask on, they go do what they want to do, and they don't want to just keep touching it. Because people do say, hey, don't touch your mask all day. I just ignore it. I shouldn't. We have the privilege of being a little bit further away from each other here, which is fantastic. I'm so glad we're not real close up on each other. Yeah. I've finally gotten to where I order them because I felt bad about using, Reaper gave us masks and then they had the surgical mask probably as backups. And I felt bad about using theirs, so I just ordered them. They got some really cute black ones that are like, I don't know if they're matte. They sure look matte. I don't think that's a glaze. Oh no, we're going to switch that. We're going to switch that around and pick it up. Hi there, Scrying Eye. Um, ugh, and you know what? I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up after I do it. But I don't have a paper towel. I made a mistake on one of these, and I think I want to fix it before I glaze over it. Where's my gray? I'm painting New Year's Sophie. She normally just has a butt. Justin didn't want me to paint something with a butt because of TOS, so I made panties out of green stuff. I'm actually really proud. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it in focus. Hold on. We can get it in focus. We just gotta be careful. So it's got a bow and ruffles. It's hard to see. Maybe when it's finished, it'll look really good once we highlight and everything. But yeah. So New Year's Sophie with custom panties. And made a bikini. Thanks, Scrying Eye. I don't know how tough it'll be, like how strong, but it seems like it's fine. Anne's a good sculptor. Oh, I didn't even notice. You're not the first one. Somebody, even when we had a cat named Sophie, somebody said, I had Sadie in my lap, and I was like, excuse me? And they were like, I meant Sophie. And it really was an accident. They weren't like pervy and weird. But yeah. So anyway, Anne's a good sculptor. Don't let her fool you. Don't let Anne have you believing she's a one-trick pony, because I've seen some pretty cool sculpts. Modifications. Let's see. I feel like a lot of naked ladies are painted on Reaper. Can we get a full close one of these times? Yeah, let's do it. Rella Witch, I have to say, okay, so I know a lot of people think that our minis are a little too like va-va-voom, and I totally get that. But that's kind of my taste growing up, sort of when I did in the 90s, that was it. Is like a, whatever, a curvaceous figure. But we'll do something a little different next time. And what it might be is it might be that people like to paint skin, and it might be that they paint the transparent clothing. And if you're going to paint the transparent clothing, the clothing is usually kind of like drapey and whatever. I don't like armor, but I'll tell you what I do like is I liked when I made that pink armor color. So yeah, I've actually heard that, Rings Raccoon. I've heard that that's a complaint people have, and I've told Ed that, and he's like, well, why do people keep buying them then? And it's probably that there are people that don't like them. There are people that do like them. I've always thought it would be nice to have more realistic figures as far as, I don't know, boobs with a little gravity to them and whatever, the whole spectrum of that, and also some androgynous figures. I don't know that they would sell, but we could always, by we, I mean, a person could always make them. I don't know what the process is of making a new mini now that a lot of it is digital. These are too many colors. I've made a real mess here. Layers and shadows with cool contrasts. That's true, Stefan Blue. Layers and shadows. I'm new to painting too, so contrast is not my strong point. But I will think about that, and I will try and pick something. I'll try and pick something that'll be interesting for everybody, especially me, because when I did Mengu Timur, I think it was Mengu Timur that I hated. Like by the end of it, it's a great figure. It's just not my taste. And by the end of it, I was like, I'm done with him. I hate him, and I'm done with him. We've passed 420 glaze it. We'll look at these wings. Ouch. Oh no. I think these are her wings. Either these are her wings or I've got these wings too. I'm with you. Hi, OC Diva. Um, Thank you for the raid. We won't be here too much longer, but we are painting New Year's Sophie. I'm a little late because I'm a slow painter, but we're painting New Year's Sophie. This is a show where we started with our Reaper Learn to Paint kits, and we've moved on to do our own thing. So I am a pretty new painter, not new, not old. And I mix the paints for Reaper miniatures. So I'm like Anne's protege, I guess you would say. Anne moved to California and now streams with us daily, daily, every weekday. And also does her Patreon stuff. So I'm kind of carrying on the torch and trying to take things in new directions while maintaining the same values and classic taste or something. Anyway, I'm bullshitting. Thank you for the raid. Hashtag free is open. We're giving away a couple of metallic paints. I have a metallic medium, so it's really sparkly silver that you could use as just plain silver, or a hot metallic blue, and a hot metallic blue. We're giving away one of each to every person. So yeah, but I will look in our next mini. I'm sure we're almost to the point on this New Year's Sophie where I'm bored of it and I'm gonna rush through it. But I'll try and make myself some instructions. Let's get Justin in here and he can tell us how many giveaways do we have, and we'll have to do a drawing. Okay. I don't know if you... Okay, I was about to say, I don't know if you guys can hear him, but he's going to check real fast. He told me to give him a second. Oh no, that wasn't all the way dry. Oopsies, that's ugly. It's my bugaboo. I hate that. No, we didn't. Shit, that's upsetting. Hold on a minute. Maybe I can fix it and we can just have like a few moments with Justin. Like people. Yeah, we're killing it. I don't know if they can hear you. We're giving away 5 sets. Yeah, do your hashtag free. I don't know if you can hear him. Oh my goodness, Dr. Bob. 6 sets. Okay, so Francis, he told me today that he has been away a lot because number one, I'm not in studio to give him dirty looks when he's busy and like require his attention like an animal. And 2, because he's training Collins. I have got to get this working. I can't take it. Okay. How about now? You're real loud in my headphones. I don't think so. I think it's something within my... I called it IBS to myself today. And I was like, it's not IBS. And I was like, well, whatever. It's not the worst. Not the worst restriction. He just draw our 6 winners. Okay, he's going to announce you guys in chat, and I'm going to read your names. Okay, he's going to start now. Hunter plays drum. Rihanna, 8907. Dave Dwyer. Fraley, 17. Evil Twin Mason. Did he win last week? And Mad Zapper. Congrats, you guys. what you're going to do is how funny, you can, what's it called? Enter in exclamation point, I won something, question mark, and it'll pop up and tell you what to do. So yeah, you'll get this wonderful preview of Hot Blue, which will be in our RVE metallic fast palette, which as far as I know will be available until all the fast palette packaging runs out. And if it sells well, we'll keep it. And if it doesn't, we won't, sort of thing. So I think you'll like this metallic fast palette though. I'm pretty proud of it. It's got some pretty cool stuff in it. But this blue is going to be a winner. And this blue was one of our like new, not inspired by anything colors. Like this was a purely kind of Ron and Ed told me about an element within their kind of world. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to copy that Pendrake and I'm going to look at them. So that's our show for the week. I hope what we'll do is get my everything working so you can hear Justin. I don't know why that would happen, but it does sometimes. I know that when I pulled up this program, it was like loading different things and changing and updating. So, oh yeah, so we're probably going to want to find a raid. I have talked so much today. Yep. I don't think Anne's on right now, or I would say Anne. I think we finished too fast. Oh no, her back hurts. Nobody panic. I know that sounded... It irritates my boyfriend that anytime anything happens, I gasp like somebody died. It scares him all the time. Ugh, where am I going? Okay, browse. Sorry, everything's rattling. Okay. All right, I think we have somebody painting minis. Her name is Sierra_Elvenblood. She's got 51 viewers. So I don't know what paint she's using. I can't really see. I'm going to get on here. Hopefully it doesn't make a big noise. Oh, I got a stupid ad. I'm not signed in. So this is what happens. Sometimes on Reaper Live, I won't say anything when people ask questions. And it is because I'm not signed in on Twitch on this computer. Let's see. Yeah, I do the big gasp. Does that look like GW paints? I don't know. It doesn't matter. We'll love them anyway. So yeah, spread the Reaper love. We'll see you tonight at 6. Be safe, have fun. Mwah. Oh, he says thank you. Bye, you guys.